giving him a piece of cheese and letting him know I would like to know the whereabouts, if there is, of dark secret corners.
Sits there and eats the cheese.
There's another one if you know.
Looks at you quizzically.
Oh, come on, tell me. It's really good cheese.
And he finishes the cheese and runs off.
Fine then, be that way. I can talk to another rat. There's many of you running around here.
Jan?
What?
You do know I know exactly what you're saying, which means you're probably not talking to that animal like you think you are.
There I am.
I heard you.
It's not my fault you didn't want to respond.
He doesn't understand you, Jane.
Sure he does.
I
He doesn't want to
understand
speak.
you.
He's just too uppity. He's an upper class rat. Something's like a city rat.
I think you're missing
Someone's
something.
been gnawing on
Jen.
too much curds.
Jen, you're missing something. How do you speak to animals?
Ugh, I can't take this anymore. You people. You don't speak to another rat. Maybe he's a country rat.
She runs off talking to rats. You can see Catalina make a note inside of this pocketbook that she's always carrying on her, and while looking at Jane, and she closes the book and puts it in her front breast pocket. Looks over at Vane. Vane gives a
God.
stoic nod of concern. And so we're dividing, Vane speaks up, we're dividing everything equally, right? So let's go ahead and do our shares.
Okay.
So whatever you guys found on the last adventure, you guys can go ahead and divide that way. It was Vane, Skinwalker Jane, Clay, Catalina, and the bard whose name is, it's been a while, sorry, Valara. So everything you guys found, you guys got to split 5 ways. Figure out how you're going to do that.
It's already been split.
You guys already split it?
Yeah, in the first adventure, we were already divvying it up. There was a lot of silver and a lot of gold.
Because I can tell you for a fact that you did not give anything to Valara who got a 5th cut.
Oh, well then, how does she?
I give her, okay, so I picked up 150 gold. That's it. So we can divide that in 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each one of us gets what? 35 gold each?
35 gold each, okay.
Mathing.
So Valara got 35 gold, Vane got 35, and then we'll tell Noel when he comes back next week.
I picked up 800 silver, so.
And then, I picked up some bullets. I'm pretty
So
sure I'm
800
one.
divided by 5.
150?
160 pieces of
160
silver.
160 pieces of silver
That's
each.
a lot.
Okay. I picked up 150 shards. I don't know what that's for.
The 150 star shards. Well, Vane, to speak up on that, that's actually an interesting bit of the divide here, isn't it?
Yes. You're not taking it on it. I'm sorry.
Not all. Not all. It's just that when we get into town, I'm pretty sure the
They'll
Lockshire
want it
Lane
back.
Shipping Company is going to want this back.
Yes.
Being that it was stolen from them, and it's of some value.
Okay, so I should keep it for now, and then we can give it back, or
Well, how much of it did we find?
150 shards.
But how much did we find?
150 shards. I wrote it down.
But how much of it did we find?
50 shards.
We found 50 shards. That's very smart. So the 100 that we didn't find divided 5 ways would be
25 shards.
It's 25 shards each.
Good thinking, Ben.
Jane was like, I believe he wanted you to lie. Like really loud.
I found a glaive. Anybody uses a glaive?
This giant, knoll-sized weapon covered in blood and gore from probably something innocent that didn't deserve to die.
No? No takers? Okay. So
And toss. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah.
anybody need a longbow, Jane?
I have one thing.
You have a longbow?
Yes, and a rifle.
You have a rifle?
Yup.
Are you going to use it?
Why?
Then can I have it?
No?
Okay. Well, I already put one rifle, so I already found one.
Wait, you already have a rifle?
I have 4 pistols and 1 rifle.
Then why would you need another rifle?
I don't. I don't want you using it.
Wait, why don't you want me using it?
Because you don't know how to use it.
Says who?
You just said it.
Were you talking to that mushroom?
Oh my. I'm going to smack
Because I'll tell you something, that mushroom was lying.
I found a copper chalice of silver with silver calligraphy on it.
The art items and things like that, we're probably not even going to be able to sell in town. They're utilitarian folks, so.
I just keep it in my bag. As I say bag. I found a silver ewer. What the hell's an ewer? I spelled it wrong.
It's a vessel used to take water to a bath.
Oh, okay. I'll toss that shit. I mean, it's silver. I'll put it in the bag.
Can I cast Speak with Animals and see if any of the rats might know the secret passage?
Yes.
Casting it.
I found some bone dice if anybody wants them.
And speaking
Vane will take a set.
There you go.
to a country rat.
I found 2, so I'll keep one.
So you go up to another rat and
Piece of cheese.
go ahead and give me animal handling check.
Same.
Okay. So you approach a rat, and with Speak with Animals, how long does Speak with Animals last?
It's right on the thing on top.
10 minutes.
10 minutes? Okay. So you got 10 minutes to talk to this rat. You approach, again, very similar, very calm, and you can see, this rat just kind of walking around in the shadows, kind of checking you guys out a little bit, seeing what all the fuss is about.
We have cheese, and it's yours. You can tell us if there are any hidden passages that you may have seen.
It walks up and sits down and puts a little paw up. You hand down the cheese and gets more.
Where's the location of the little goblin kid who took off? He went in here. We just don't know where he's at. Is he hiding?
Which goblin?
Giving him the description of the ugly goblin that... I forgot his name. What was his name?
What?
The goblin that...
Grizz?
Crom.
Oh, Crom.
Descriptions of Crom.
Okay, goblin in a cowboy hat, smoking a cigar all the time. Cool. And he looks at you. And starts heading into the cave.
Okay. Following.
You coming? And you follow behind, and he'll actually take you down through the dark passage that you had gone through previously. Again, there's no light in there, so do you have a light source?
I do. Where's that? It's in my inventory. There is a torch.
Okay, you spark up a torch, and you can see the rat scurrying off. And essentially, he takes you down to what looks like just a pile of crap, piled up against the cave wall. He goes through there.
Giving him a bigger piece of cheese and saying, "Thank you, brother rat. You're a lot kinder than the other stuck-up rat."
That was my cousin. He's a dick. You guys moving? You guys moving in?
No, but we just wanted to know for future references. By the way, don't talk to that mushroom. He's a liar.
So it's ours now?
Yeah.
Story's off.
Bye, fellow rats.
So you see a pile of crap, that you guys have actually already rifled as you were looting everything. If you want to give it a closer look, you can. Investigation check.
Four.
4? Well, he's not here now, that's for sure.
Hey, going outside. Hey, guys, the country rat told me where that other guy went.
Okay.
Cromwell. We're not sticking around here, are we?
Kind of. We were thinking about keeping this our home base.
You might want to block off the pile of crap in case it comes back and slits our throat. But don't believe what the mushroom tells you. He's a liar. But the rat was speaking to me and he said yes.
Are you sure it was speaking to you this time?
God, yes. They all speak to me.
Okay.
Why do people treat me like I'm crazy? I'm not,
Alright. So I just start fixing a hole.
She says you probably go. I didn't
You go
see
check out the hole that Skinwalker Jane was pointing at?
Yeah.
Sure, give me an investigation check.
Looking at that mushroom.
10. You're looking at the area where she's pointing it out, and it's just a pile of crap. So it's probably Skinwalker Jane being Skinwalker Jane and talking to her fucking self.
Jen, I don't even see the hole you're talking about.
Fine, don't believe me, but the rat told me.
Well, can you show me?
Sure. And a pile of crap. And that's where Crumb left. Crumb, was it?
Yeah.
That's what the rat told me.
Where's the hole? I don't see it.
I didn't look at it either. I just know that the rat pointed and said he
Can
goes
you
through there.
find it?
Fine. Rifling through it again, can I?
You don't see anything.
Oh. Nope.
Rat, your friend, I don't even know. Alright.
That cost me cheese. That's a lot of currency in rat.
Wonder if there's like a trap door somewhere. Let's just go.
You're right. Let's go.
Got either one magical weapon or 1,000 gold waiting for us.
Okay.
We just need the head of Grizz.
Who's that again?
The one that we're here for.
No, really. Who's that again? The Knoll or
The Knoll, the big guy, the one that was killing us.
You want to chop off its head? It's your thing. Maybe we could just use an ear.
It's not gonna work. All Knolls have the same damn ears.
That's racist. So who takes the grisly task of chopping off Grizz's head? The grisly task of decapitating Grizz.
Do we have anything to decapitate his head with?
We have the glaive.
Yeah,
As I
his
lift
own
it up,
glaive.
I don't like whack.
Oh.
I am proficient in it because I'm a fighter.
Give me a roll to hit. With advantage.
Yes, thank you. Oh, that's cocked. Still same. I'm just gonna use my +6. So 12.
12. With a sickening thud, the heft of the glaive slices through the bone and sinew of Grizz's neck and slams into the hard-packed
Is
sand.
skinning skill or just...
It's a survival check.
Oh.
And his head comes off, blood still flowing freely as he has died not that long ago. You have your prize.
Alright, wrap it up
I want to skin it.
in a somewhat makeshift bag, and I put it in the bag that I just picked up.
Skin the rest.
You're going to try to skin Grizz.
What? No, Jane. No. This is a humanoid. You don't do that.
But he's warm.
No. It's not an animal. It's a humanoid.
I don't know too many humans with teeth like that.
It's just gross, dude.
But you just lopped off its head.
Because it's either dead or alive. He's dead and we need to bring back proof.
And I need a warm blanket.
He is not an animal.
Yes to me.
Let's just get the fuck out of here.
Donna takes her child to the car.
We go.
As you get on the cart and get ready to head back into town, you can tell that Donna is keeping her child very, very close to her and keeping as wide a berth as possible between her and Skinwalker Jane. The bard that is accompanying you guys also has a very concerned look on her face about Skinwalker Jane. And it seems to be keeping a very, very close eye on her. No insight check needed. Her hand does not leave her hand crossbow for the entire journey home. As you guys are headed back, go ahead and give me what were we using for your land navigation? I forget what skill that is.
Survival.
Is it a survival check? Okay, give me a survival check for taking the carriage back across the list.
I'm driving.
Oh. No advantage then?
If you want to assist, she can get advantage, yeah, if you're helping her drive.
So the higher...
Or helping him drive, sorry.
My roll was high.
What'd you get?
I got a... What was it, survival?
No, if you assist somebody, it just gives them advantage.
Okay.
Yeah.
16.
16? No problem. Even at night, you're actually able to navigate your way back home easier than your trip out here. It's kind of like when you drive to work and then you drive back home, even though it's the same distance, the trip home always seems faster. You kind of got that going on.
That is true.
It's weird, right?
Going to the gym, slow. Coming back from the gym, I'm already here.
Yep.
So, as you guys are headed back, go ahead and give me perception checks at disadvantage, because it is nighttime.
And being dark vision, have dark vision doesn't help you.
It doesn't take away the disadvantage, no, because it still would be advantageous if you had light, right?
Survival, you said? Or?
Dark vision just allows you to make the check where somebody without dark vision wouldn't have it at all. 19 with disadvantage, nice.
Better than I did. I got 3.
Okay, cool. So, as you were riding off, you can see you're getting close to town, but you're not quite at town yet. And up in the distance, you hear it before you see it, actually. The sound of combat, commotion, ahead of you. And as you go further, you can see that there's some sort of scuffle going on the sand. Camera shifts. All right. Kill. You've been riding in with the Valsaden Moving Company, headed towards New Fork. On your way into town, give me a perception check.
Nice.
I handed you the dice.
I know, but which one?
Oh, which ones do you use? Okay. So these are D20s. You're going to use those for almost all your checks. So if I ask for a skill check, you roll that. And then you go to your skills and find your perception.
Oh, that sucks. 11.
So 11 on perception. Okay. So as you're heading into New Fork, all of a sudden your cart comes to a halt, and you're not really sure what's happening at first. And the person that's driving the cart, an elven gentleman, he kind of puts his hand up and he's like peering into the darkness and trying to shield his eyes from the torchlight that he has hanging on the wagon. And looks like we've got a traitor in trouble. They're blocking the path into town. And he looks over at you. This is what they're paying you for, right?
Okay. Yes. So, how far away is the scuffle?
Well, you can only see the direction that he's looking at, and it's off in the darkness. You haven't quite seen exactly what he's looking at yet. But as the cart comes to a halt, now you can actually hear crying over the flatlands of the Red Star Waste. You can hear the sound of what sounds like almost like an elderly voice, kind of hard to tell if it's male or female, but you hear him calling out for help. And, help, get this thing away from my turtle. And you can hear it out in the darkness ahead of you, but you haven't quite seen it yet. It's just outside of the range of your dark vision.
Okay, so I go as quickly and as stealthily as possible closer so I can ascertain exactly what's going on and who the attacker is or what the attacker is.
Grabbing your bow and diving off the cart and making your way towards the sound, give me a stealth check.
These dice don't like me. All right.
Your second roll in D&D and you're invoking the dice jail?
A natural 1 plus 3, so 4.
Okay. As stealthy as the night, you slip into the shadows. You hook your foot on the run down from the wagon, slamming your knee into the red dirt a little bit. Pop! Litting up a little cloud of smoke, and you just get up, dust it off, and keep running. It's fine. It'll be fine. As you go running off towards the combat. As you get closer, you can see a kind of, it's all dark night out here, so all you have is like starlight and stuff kind of keeping it dim, but you can see the silhouette of a robed figure, and he's standing next to what looks like a large boulder at first, and then you see the boulder take a step backwards. And it looks like there are different shadow forms that are like assailing these two forms, this hooded figure and this large hulking figure. It looks like they're kind of defensively trying to move away from 3 or 4 other shadowy things that you can't quite make out what they are.
Okay. Don't I have a sense that automatically picks up if it's a fiend?
You have an ability called Primeval Awareness, which, let me see the book on exactly how that works. I've never had a ranger smart enough to use this, sorry. Let me look this up real quick.
That is true.
Let's see.
Get her picture out.
Ranger, archetypes, not what I need. Here we go. Primeval Awareness. Beginning at 3rd level, you can use your action to expend 1 ranger spell slot to focus your awareness on the region around you. For 1 minute per level of the spell slot expended, you can sense whether the following types of creatures are present within 1 mile of you, or within up to 6 miles of you in your favorite terrain. So you're not in your favorite terrain, so it would be 1 mile. And you could decide to focus on either aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead. So it would cost you a spell slot to do it, but yeah, you could try to see if they're fiends using that ability.
Okay, so, you know what, I don't care. So I want to go ahead and make an attack.
Okay, what are you shooting at? One of the forms that are look like they're surrounding. Figure. You're going to shoot at the robed figure? Okay, so go ahead and make a roll at disadvantage because it's dark.
Okay, and disadvantage is...
you roll the d20 twice and you take the lower of the 2.
Alright, and it was attack?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. No, there's nothing in there. So, 10.
10? Okay. You fire an arrow and you hit the robed figure, but you can see your arrow ricochet off its back. And it hits the ground. Not me, them! Get them!
It's been a long journey.
And with that, guys, You are approaching the same scene. Obviously, this is the combat you've seen ahead of you. So let's go ahead and roll initiative, and let's get on the battle map.
And you are completely unimpressed with this stranger attacking.
What is that? Is that a 19?
Yes.
19 plus 3.
Not 20 with a... So it's 23.
Holy moly.
So your dice like you.
Dude, these are the dice Lawrence gave me for my birthday, so I have to use them on this campaign. Even though mine are over here. My old ones are right there. And then I got these D20s that are kind of
These are the
cool.
ones Lawrence gave me, so I have to use them. Sorry, bro. Last present you
I
ever
can't find
did.
a picture for you, so I'm just
And,
going to use like
so
a
the
default.
one, when you roll a 1, and then when you roll a 20,
What color's your hair?
do you want one or no? You can take a
no.
red or a black one.
I'm gonna make my I'm gonna get some personalized, like nice ones.
Oh, you want the metal ones?
It is, yeah. It is silver
Silver?
with like silver, not gray, silver, and with streaks of blue.
Okay, is this a close one? I'm going to use this picture.
Oh, you can send her your picture. You know that, right?
Oh, that one was just a generic.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to use this one. It has silver. And it's
It does.
It looks really nice. I'm gonna
It
use
does
that.
look really nice.
Alright. Use that one.
Oh, we're gonna use the rocks that Noah brought?
Well, thank goodness it was such a low roll on that attack.
Nat 20 and the guy.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
I was like,
you know
oh
what?
shit.
No. That was my way of determining who the enemy really was.
I was like, oh shit, she's gonna kill my NPC before I get to introduce him.
Alright, your name is unknown character for now. How do you like that picture, Lawrence?
Yeah, it's good.
It's actually from the player's handbook.
Yes. It is transparent.
She wants to see.
I like that.
Setting up the map, oh yeah.
Setting up the map, oh yeah.
Take a picture of it when he's done. Something closer.
But he's not done yet,
I know when he's done. Hi, Bellaby. Hi, Q Dog. We're doomed already. First battle of the day.
Alright, and then we've got your guys' cart coming in from this direction, from where the Grizz Gang was. And we've got Kaylin's cart from the Valsade Moving Company. Actually, the Valsade Moving Company is a lot smarter than your guys, so his cart's off the map. And Kaylin is coming in from this direction, shooting poor old men or women in the back.
Well, I had to ascertain who the actual enemy was.
Of course.
Okay.
No better way to ascertain than by firing an arrow.
Exactly.
But as you get closer, you do hear the sound of another carriage approaching off to your right. And as you guys get closer to each other in the starlight, you start to... essentially, you can see each other on the map silhouetted at this point. You guys are close enough to each other. So for initiative, what did we look at, guys? Skinwalker Jane, what'd you get?
23.
23 for
Right
Jane.
under 22.
Blaze, 22.
1.
And Kaylin, 1 plus your dexterity.
I have other dice here.
Woohoo! A whopping 4.
So you were on 4. Awesome. Awesome. You're dominating.
I know it, right? These dice you gave me are cursed.
I'll try mine.
You said you wanted blue dice. You didn't say you wanted good dice. I don't give you good dice.
I have these cute little purple ones.
I'll give him one more chance and then I'll trade.
As you guys have gotten closer, you can see this robed figure. It looks like it has a giant hunchback at first. And as you get closer, you see these thick, leathery, scaled legs on it. It's holding a staff with all kinds of weird, like trinkets and baubles and gourds that are tied off to the crook and hook of the staff that are kind of like thunk, 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 like plocking together, like one of those wooden wind chimes, right? It's just making those weird clunk, clunk, clunk sounds as it moves around. It's hunched over and has an elongated neck that sticks out forward and comes down into what looks like a tortoise-like reptilian head. He's standing next to a giant tortoise that has just goods and crap strapped to its back, and bags and satchels, and just it looks like essentially like a wagon, but on the back of this giant tortoise. So what you've got here is you've got anybody. It's actually a really rare race out here, so give me a history check if you even know what this thing is. Yeah, you roll a d20 and add whatever your history score is. Another natural 1!
Alright, that's
It's done. It's gone.
That's
Get
3
over
1s
it.
out of 4 rolls. Good job, babe. You've literally defied physics.
Get away that dice, evil.
So, history check?
I only have like.
So it was 5 on
I
mine.
had a
15.
2.
Okay, Skinwalker Jane, the person from the most remote areas of the world, which has the least chance of knowing this, actually knows, oh yeah, that's a turtle. They're usually from more coastal environments.
The druid.
Very, very rare race, especially around here, but you heard the Red Star was gathering all kinds of people for all kinds of various reasons. So, not terribly surprised, but only ever seen 1 or 2 of these people in your entire life. Typically, gentle folk, typically traders and things like that, The giant mount that she has with her is, you would assume, native to desert environments. And it looks like she's being attacked right now, she or he, it's kind of hard to tell with turtles. She's being attacked by what appears to be a dire wolf, a cask of ale, and a chest. As you can see, this cask of ale that's attacking them has sprouted planks of wood, and the metal wraps that have come around it are ripped off, and it's using them as like legs. And the front end where you would tap the keg has been ripped open, and the wood has formed like a toothy maw. It's got this purple tongue flowing out of it. The chest is literally just opening and closing violently to hop for movement. It like slams its lid shut and then slams it open again to pop up and move forward a little bit, and like moves forward on its tongue as they're all attacking this this turtle right here.
So I'm Tara and Clay. Are the other people with me? John's character and
Yeah, but they're asleep.
what? Clay,
Yes.
aim for the hopping angry chest. Aim for the barrel of meanness with the teeth, and the giant dog. But avoid hitting the turtle, which is like a turtle person, and his giant turtle. The other things you can go ahead and aim freely at.
Why?
Because if he doesn't, he's going to be eaten by a giant chest and a giant barrel of ale.
Oh, okay.
And that giant dog.
So you don't want to kill no giant evil looking turtle.
No, he's not evil. He's coastal. I think he's a traitor.
Okay. Whatever you say.
So, got the mimic there. We got the dire wolf here. Where's my direwolf at? Sorry guys, had to let the missus use the tablet for her character today, so I'm doing old school right now.
Yeah, we definitely need to get a new tablet.
Appendix. Page 321. All right. $321. Got it. Direwolf. All right. And the direwolf will be going on turn. All right, Skinwalker Jen, you're up.
I will be aiming my rifle at the direwolf. Can I see it?
The direwolf, from where you're at, no, you cannot see it.
Okay, so what can I see?
Well, you can't really see.
You can't really see anything from where you're at.
Oh no, I don't know where I'm at.
You're right there.
I thought it was inside here, next to him.
So where do you want to be?
Right here.
Okay, so you want to be
Next,
on.
yeah, I'm just next to him.
All right,
Okay,
then put your model where you want to be.
He's sitting next to me.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. So from there, you can see the direwolf, but it's got partial cover from where you're at.
What's not got partial cover? This or that?
Everything has partial cover from where you're at.
You need to move. Move your cup.
Not really, no. I can see that.
Covered. You just have to move your finger around the rock. This, you have to move your finger around this guy.
Oh, yeah,
Everything's
yeah.
got partial cover.
How's that?
You got a clear shot on the mimic in front of you.
Okay. Taking it. What's the rifle?
So go ahead and make a shot. You don't have proficiency on it.
What is the rifle's
It's just a d20 roll plus your dexterity.
No, but the damage?
Dexterity.
Dexterity. 11.
11 to hit the mimic.
Dexterity you had? 13? 12, 13?
You fire off, boom, and the bullet grazes the mimic, doesn't seem to do any damage.
That was it.
Alright, that's your shot.
Go in the house.
Clay.
Okay. I hop off.
Alright.
And I'm heading 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Heading like right here. As soon as I make a shot like that to this guy, I'm gonna swing back that way.
How much movement do you have?
I have 30. So that was 20.
I was actually
Oh,
already
actually-
at 35.
Like this. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
Okay. Take your shot.
This dice is killing me today. I miss. And my second attack. 21.
21 hits.
Alright. Where are you, lone mongrel? You are a D10. Where's my D10? Here, right there. 4 points of piercing. And then I do like a little spin.
All right, 4 points of piercing damage. Let's see. And then you spin for the cover?
Yes.
All right.
I go like on my knees. Like
So you run off, firing twice with your pistol. Boom, boom. The second shot does impact. You can see wood explode out the opposite side of the creature, and it turns towards you, moving with its metal legs, just to see you spin for your partial cover there. That was on Clay's turn. On the Mimic's turn. The Mimic, very, very agitated with you having guns. Let's see, what's the movement on a Mimic? 75.
Holy moly, he's totally caught up.
5, 10, 15. Okay, its real movement is 15. Because it moves on broken, spindly legs towards you.
And then he was just gonna fly there. It was like with 75. I was like, what?
Let's see. What's the range on its attack? Come on, it's got to have something.
It's 10 range, tongue, attack.
You would think. But it is not. So it runs towards you, and it can't quite get to you. So it slams the 2 metal prongs in front of the sand and lifts one up, and it kind of bends around itself to form a crude middle finger at you. Really weird. And the other Mimic goes bink, 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 and goes to attack the big tortoise thing there. It's going to take a swipe at it with its pseudopod tongue and roll crap to hit. It rolls as good as my wife does. All right.
Thanks.
The dire wolf is going to do the same, attacking the big tortoise here. And it is going to... That is going to be a hit for the dire wolf, as it bites into the tortoise creature, into its front foreleg, and goes to pull on it. Unable to get the heft of the creature to really move or budge, but you can see as the wolf's trying to drag it down to the ground, not making much success, but you can see the blood starting to flow out of the tortoise's leg. That is on the wolf's turn. Kaylin, it's your chance to redeem yourself, girl.
So I want to get close to that tree, but I want to see if there's any way I can line of sight any one of these critters.
So you want to have a clear shot.
Well, hunter's mark. Do I need a clear shot?
You need to be able to see it to put a hunter's mark on it.
So it's close to that tree with being able to see.
Okay. Do you want to be in front of the tree or behind the tree?
Behind the tree.
Okay, so you have enough move to get right here.
All right.
And then you can see that Mimic over there. You can see this Mimic over here. The dire wolf would be blocked from view.
Okay. So I figure this person's got that one distracted, so I want to hunter's mark this Mimic.
Okay, so you go ahead and put hunter's mark on the leaping chest Mimic.
Yes.
All right, so just what you do is for your tracking your spells, you go into D&D Beyond, go to your spells.
It's right here.
So
Yeah,
that I
tap
have
spells.
200 bullets. I don't have to worry about my gun anymore.
And then you can go over here, and Hunter's Mark is a first level spell. So you tap one of those squares. That lets you know you can cast 3 first level spells a day, and that lets you know you've already used one.
Okay.
Okay? So
I need a
you cast
spear.
Hunter's Mark on it,
I need
no
a
problem.
spear.
That is a bonus action. What do you want to do with your action?
Can you have a diet?
Fire at him.
Fire at him? Okay, go ahead and take a shot. What's your total?
What did she roll?
She rolled a 2.
Wow. Not even my dice can see.
So, where is it? What do I...
You're looking at your attacks on D&D Beyond. So if you go over here to actions, and then you tap attacks, these are all your attacks. Your longbows right there. You have a +7 to hit. So even rolling a 2, you got a 9, right?
I got a 9.
Which is a miss. So, actually, you got a 10 because we haven't put your
Wait, Hunter's Mark.
your bow on there yet. Hunter's Mark doesn't add to hit; it adds to damage.
Oh.
So, you put Hunter's Mark on the target, and
You take a shot, but being mindful, not wanting to hit this majestic tortoise creature, you're just a little too careful, and you miss your shot. That was on Kaylin's turn. Jane, you're up.
Oh dear. Seems that walking metal wooden creature seems to be angered at my friend. I think I shall summon the elements, summon the elements, summon the elements. Come on, elements! Flaming sphere.
Flaming sphere. Okay.
Oh, it's my flaming spear.
And
Except it's not.
in a
Where's
5-foot
my
diameter
candy?
sphere of fire appears an unoccupied space of your choice. Is it unoccupied?
Yes.
Alright. Any creature that ends its turn within 5 feet of the sphere must make a dexterity saving throw. The creature takes 2d6 fire damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one.
Okay.
I can, as a bonus action, move it 30 feet.
So when you first summon it, does it do anything, or is it?
I'm just gonna ram into it.
I think you can ram into it when you first summon it.
Okay, well, smack it in the back.
Okay. So how do you go about doing that? Is it just a dex save, or do you have to roll to hit?
No, you have to make the dex save.
So I make a dex save against it. All right.
Yeah. Or take
It's gonna take damage. It's gonna take all the damage.
8. Does it have any pluses to that? So he's going to take 8 points of
He's
damage.
gonna take 8 points.
And
of
if he ends
damage.
his turn there, he takes another 2d6.
And since he's wood,
Oh, and he's got beer inside of him, doesn't he? Or is beer
Beer's
not?
not flammable.
Oh.
I like where your mind's at, though. As you sit there and rub your hands together, creating friction, the heat from the hands puts you in contact with the elemental plane of fire, and poof, a sphere, a ball of flame erupts, illuminating the night behind the mimic. Clay, from your perspective, you now have a backlit horror story of an ale keg attacking you.
that's scary shit.
And the ball of flame slams into the back of the keg, erupting into sparks into the night sky. The keg looks very, very burnt and singed and unhappy, and redirects its middle finger towards the ball of fire. So that was on Jane's turn. Anything else? You're going to use any movement? Anything like that?
As a bonus action, I can ram it again at him, and
You can attack when you first summon it,
Uh-huh.
and then it becomes a bonus action every turn thereafter.
so I can't attack it with it.
No.
again.
No, you can't attack it twice in the first turn. No.
I'm just gonna laugh very maniacally.
Okay, cool. Clay,
How long would it take for me to get up on top of the cliff?
give me an athletics check.
Like, how high is it?
True to model. So
Okay.
it's about 5 foot high.
Oh my god, I fell. Yeah, it's just a 2.
You got a
I
2?
can't get up there.
Yeah, you go to like hop up on it, and the sand and earth just crumble under your hand. You lose purchase on it. It's just going to get rid of 5 foot of your movement. You still have the rest of your turn as you want.
Alright, so I'm gonna shoot the crap out of it then.
All right.
I hit, I think, 11 plus 6.
Yes, that's a hit.
Oh,
Oh. 12 points of damage?
12 points of damage.
Again.
that's a hit.
Yeah.
You have 2 attacks already?
Uh,
At 3rd level?
Wait. Because I'm a fighter.
There's no way you have 2 attacks.
Oh no, I only have 1, sorry.
Don't you have 2 guns? Or did you use one of your
No,
hands to
I
try?
can't use it. And then I'm going to run around. So that was 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Oh, now does he have a clear shot?
All right. So you take a shot at it and then run for cover. On the mimic's turn.
I was actually thinking of my other campaign that I'm playing, and I have 2 attacks. Not good idea to think like that.
Okay. The mimic
makes its athletics check, jumps up onto the rocks, and disappears from view. The dire wolf continues to attack the turtle. It's going to hit the turtle again, continuing to do damage to it and trying to pull it down into the dirt. The turtle does stay steadfast, though. The other mimic, now realizing that it is being hunter's marked, begins attacking its pursuer. 5, 10, 15. As it slams its lid open and shut, making this horrible racket as it tries to propel itself through the sound. Clunk pop pops, clunk pop pops, clunk pop pops, headed towards you at a very, very ominous but ultimately slow pace. That is on the mimics and the wolf's turn. Kaylin, you're up.
Okay, how long does the hunter's mark last?
The hunter's mark, I believe, lasts for like a fucking hour or something. It's insanity.
Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and attack because it's this really creepy thing is thunking at me.
That is a much better roll than a 2.
I don't care, it's these dice do not like me, so, and it was longbow, so 13 to hit.
That's a hit.
Alright.
That's a hit.
First
So,
hit.
for your longbow
1d8
damage,
plus 3.
plus another d6 because it's hunter's mark. So you roll a d8 and a d6, and add 3 to whatever you get.
7.
7
More dice?
More dice.
7 is good.
Do you want my big giant dice for D6?
Okay, I have to go through all the dice and find ones that like me.
Oh, here you go. Are you sure you want to get rid of these? Because I have pretty good luck with them. Try Diana's. Sorry.
Do you see any good luck on my end? Okay,
Maybe else that's so close to the DM.
let's try these.
Alright.
There are all a bunch of them in there.
Don't stand so close to the DM. Are you encouraging cheating?
No. Whatever do you mean?
Alright, guys. So, as the thing's hopping towards you, you fire an arrow into what you assume to be its mouth-like structure of the open chest. And you can see the tongue portion of this creature begin to get slick with whatever fluid it kind of thinks is blood. As the arrow is now sticking out of the clap trap of its mouth. That was on Kaylin's turn. Jane.
Making a bowling motion towards the wolf with my flaming sphere, like.
Okay. Going for the 7-10 split. The flaming spear goes towards the dire wolf. Go ahead and make an attack roll. Or is it an attack roll? Or
yeah, he's just
how
got
does flaming spear work? Because I think you're doing it wrong. I'm going to look it up.
I can read it to you.
I hate this spell. It's super annoying. I mean, like, I love this spell for the effect, but, like, I can never remember exactly
As a
how it
bonus,
works.
what?
Flaming sphere. Okay, 5 foot diameter sphere. A creature that ends its turn within 5 feet of the sphere makes a dexterity saving throw. It's not ending its turn, you're attacking with it. As a bonus action, you can move the sphere up to 30 feet. If you ram the sphere into the creature, that creature must make a saving throw against the sphere's damage, and the sphere stops moving this turn. So you rolled it into it, the creature makes a dexterity saving throw, which it passes. And does it take half damage or no damage?
Half on a successful one.
Okay, go ahead and roll damage.
11.
11 points of
No,
damage.
no. 6 plus 5. That's 11. Ooh!
11 points of damage to the dire wolf.
That's total. So
As again, fiery sparks of flame go out into the night sky. It did make its dex save, so where are you at, Mr. Direwolf?
From the animals. So if you ever want to be a penguin, here it is. totally seduce the dire wolf.
Yeah,
Pip's not here.
All right. And yes, as fire goes exploding into the night, the dire wolf growls at the thing. Actually, give me an insight check, being a druid.
no. Alrighty. With advantage or?
No, just an insight check.
16.
16. You know that wolves instinctively are fearful of fire, and the reaction this creature has is not one of fear. It actually, like when you hit it with the ball of fire, it turns and snaps at the ball, like it shows aggression towards it, where you would expect it to kind of, if not stop fighting and run altogether, it would at least recoil and show some sort of fear. It doesn't seem like this is a natural dire wolf. So, that was on Jane's turn. Clay.
Ooh. I peek around the corner. I'm going to shoot at that wolf.
Okay.
That's a 19.
That hits.
A 19 is a hit.
10 points of damage.
10 points of damage to the dire wolf. All right.
And then I hide behind the cliffs. So moving.
That's good damage.
Up there.
All right. So you take a shot, and you go to move, and you actually are going to take an attack of opportunity from the rock next to you.
I forgot about that guy.
So 16 to hit.
Yep.
Max damage. 11 points of damage as the rock next to you, as you move out of its range, all of a sudden a mouth opens up in the stone and a purple tongue comes flying out and smacks you in the back of the head as you go moving away for cover. That was on Clay's turn. On the Mimic's turn. Bat, bat, bat. It's going to take another attack at you. It will hit. For 8 points of damage. 8 points of bludgeoning damage. As it comes hopping down the rock side, it goes back into its keg form. Metal legs hit the stone next to you, and it just flops this giant, heavy purple pseudopod tongue on top of your head, knocking your hat into the ground. The dire wolf, actually now being attacked by Clay and by Jane, is going to change up tactics. 5, 10, 15,
If you pass through it, does it take another 2d6?
20. No, it's only if he ends his turn there. 25. Can't get quite to Jane, so he's going to try to take out Clay. 7 plus... let's see. Pack tactics. He has advantage for being within 5 feet of an ally. Natural 20.
I'm dead.
You're probably done. Yep. Let's see.
Roll a 1. Roll a 1. Roll a 1. Roll a 1.
It's 46 plus 3 points of damage.
Roll ones.
13 points of damage.
I'm down.
You're down? Okay. So, the dire wolf takes Clay down. That was on the wolf's turn. And then we have the other mimic going for Kalen. Pa-pa-cha-cha, pa-cha-cha-cha, pa-cha-cha-cha. Just clamping and cluttering and slamming its lid. And after the third slam, your arrow gets snapped in half and goes flying into the dirt. And the one that you already shot it with that was sticking out of its mouth.
Okay.
And it continues to pursue you. It's going to go ahead and full move. It'll use its action to close the distance with you, but it doesn't have enough to take an attack on you this turn. But it is in melee with you now. So that was on their turn. Kaylin, you're up.
Alright. Damn it. I see him go down.
Yes.
Cure wounds that would.
Cure wounds, you have to be able to touch them.
Right.
But you could, well, you're pretty far away. You're not going to make it and be able to cast it. Do you
Right.
have the ranged version?
No.
You don't, right?
No. It's only level 1.
Yeah, cure wounds would pop him back up, but
Okay.
you got to get there.
So I want to move as much as I can to get as close as I can.
You just want to double time it over to him?
Yeah.
Okay, so breaking away from this guy,
He gets an attack.
he's
of
going to get an
opportunity.
attack, yes. See, that's what I love about new players that have watched Critical Role. They at least have some idea of things. So the Mimic's going to hit you. It's a 14 plus. I'm pretty sure it's higher than your armor class. Where's my Mimic at? 14 plus 5, I think. Yes. So, so 19 to hit. Does that get you?
That hits.
All right. So you're going to take 5, 6, 7, 8 points of damage. So what you do for that is you go here. You just type the number 8 in that box. And you hit damage. The red button.
I'm going to use this as my death save.
And you see your hit point
We're not
total
gonna
goes
lose
down to 14.
Okay.
Okay, so you do take the hit, but 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Then you use your action to move another 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, which put you right next to the dire wolf, but on your next turn you'd be able to get to Clay.
Okay. And doesn't the... No, it's only when I'm...
It's only if you
reading.
leave their area that you take an attack automatically.
All right.
All right, so you just book it double time to Clay. Jade, for the first time, you really notice out of nowhere this elven female come running out of the shadows. She's booking it double time to Clay. You can see she's got this big, wide brim, kind of more elvish style hat, almost like a cross between a western and a witch's style hat, like from Vampire Hunter D style, right? She's got white clothing on. Looks like it's leathers. Probably doubles as armor. She's carrying a bow with her, and she has flowing, kind of like a light blue hair.
It's 4:30.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. So as she goes booking it over to Clay to try to save him, you notice her on the battlefield for the first time. We're going to break here so somebody can go to Subway and get us some sandwiches.
Yes.
Okay.
Someone's excited.
It's because she got some food in her, man.
Oh.
She gets cranky without food, and then all those natural ones ain't gonna make anybody's mood better. Okay, so back into the combat. So Clay's just gone down. This strange elven female has just run out of the darkness, looking like she's going to assist Clay. And we are at the top of the initiative. Jane, it is your turn.
Okay. Oh, spirits of light and warmth, please bring back the handsome one from death's eternal grip. Come on, help me out. Do me a solid.
You hear a voice on the wind that says, "Are you sure?"
Why, yes. Unless you don't want me to.
Good call.
We'll flip for it.
You hear the sound of a coin flipping in the air, and you feel like it's landed in a positive direction.
A positive?
Yes.
Ah, yes. Thank you, spirits.
Go ahead and cast. What are you casting?
Healing word, 2D on Clay, 2D4 plus 3, 60-foot radius, 60 feet.
It's a healing word spell, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you have a 60-foot range, so you go ahead and cast your spell.
Damn it! I didn't even see that one.
You guys gotta stop rolling them black dice.
I got 11.
11? Okay,
Wait.
so
Yeah.
11 health back to you, Clay. That was your bonus action spell. You still have an action and move left. What do you want to do?
I'm rolling the sphere back like I'm pulling a string.
Unfortunately, it's a bonus action to move your sphere, so you can't do it with an action. You could fire, or you could reload your rifle. You could use another weapon like your bow or something like that. But since you use your bonus action to heal, you won't be able to move the sphere this turn.
Okay. I'm going under the cart and hiding.
Okay, so you're gonna move under the cart,
Mm-hmm.
and go ahead and give me a stealth check. I'll let you make a stealth bonus action there.
I shall take my... What's that, stealth?
Yes.
Four.
Okay, you are hidden under the cart. You are the knight. Clay, as all of a sudden consciousness returns to you, your eyes open up and you can see this radiant fire in your vision, and then it fades away and you are surrounded by enemies. What do? You're still down, you're still prone at the start of your turn, so you use half your move to get up. All right.
I'm gonna get rid of that mimic.
Okay.
It's.
How would you like to do that?
I'm going to do a Deadeye shot,
Okay.
which allows me to have even it out. Because
You are in
it's-
melee with the mimic, which would give you disadvantage to your attack.
So it's at regular.
Okay, so you're gonna spin a point of grit to get advantage on the shot, offset the disadvantage, so it's just a straight die roll.
18.
18 hits. As you just point blank put your pistol in this creature's mouth and pull the trigger, the back end of it exploding outwards. How much damage do we got?
7.
7 points of damage.
As a bonus action,
Can I get a pin that works from anybody? This is driving me nuts. Thank you.
I'm going to pop 10 points of healing inside myself with my, or not 10 points, 3 points. And then.
With your lay on hands, or
Yeah. I think that's my lay on hands.
no? You don't have lay on hands.
Yeah, healing hands.
Oh, from your Asimar ability.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
No, it's not healing hands. I want second wind.
Second
So
wind, from your
that's
fighter
gonna be
ability. So
10.
that's a die roll.
It's 8 plus 3, so 8, 9, 10, 11. I get 11 back of myself.
Okay. So
And then I'm
mustering up your fighter's strength, you get your second wind about you.
Okay. Is that a action? It doesn't say if it's a bonus or whatever. It just says you can take one additional action your turn.
For
Action surge.
action surge, it just gives you an extra action.
Okay, so I'm gonna use that.
Okay, so you action surge, so that'll give you another shot this turn, or some other action. What do you want to do?
I'm going to shoot at it again.
Okay.
I'm going to use my last grit.
All right, to offset the disadvantage. Deadeye shot. Okay.
That is 18 plus 6.
That is a hit.
And that is 10 on the die, so that is 12 points of damage.
All right. And as you fire again into this thing, another giant chunk of it blows out the back end. You can see wood, the metal on it starting to rend. The thing's starting to look like it's on its last legs. Now it's literally just being held up by its metal skeleton and like really just busted up planks of wood that are trying to hold itself together. It's still moving. It's still coming at you, but it looks wrecked at this point. On death's door, whatever death might be for this creature. That is your turn, Clay. On my turn, the mimics. So the mimic's going to go ahead and take an attack at you, Clay. It's going to
8 does not hit you, I would assume. The dire wolf is going to attack you. It does have advantage for pack tactics, so that's going to be 20 to hit, which I'm sure gets you. So that is 2d6 plus 3 piercing damage. 8 points of piercing damage. As it bites into you, you need to make a strength saving throw. A strength saving throw. As it tries to pull you to the ground. 12 unfortunately just misses it. The direwolf is able to drag you into the dust again. Poof! The dust kicks up. Out of the corner of your eye, you see your hat laying in the dust from earlier. That is on the direwolf's turn, and then the last mimic, very, very disappointed. Chicka-ba-ba-ba! 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 Drag with the ton, drag with the ton. One more chicka-ba-ba-ba! As the lid just flips open and closed as it pursues very, very slowly after this new elven stranger on the battlefield. You can see at this point the Tortolin, or the turtle. I'm thinking World of Warcraft and D&D turtle people terms might get intermingled here, guys.
Okay, that's fine.
The turtle moves over towards his tortoise buddy, and you can see it looks like he's trying to attend to its wounds somehow with one hand, while at the other hand scrambling through trinkets and baubles that are tied towards this tortoise's back. And you can just start hearing pots and pans like dumping out onto the sand as he's just like digging through trash. Like, you know that lady from Labyrinth that has that big heaping sack on her back? It looks like that on top of this tortoise, right? As he's just digging through all this stuff. And all kinds of random crap's hitting the ground. While at the same time, you can see him taking a look at the thing's leg to see how bad the wound is. That was on their turn. Kaylin.
Alright, so since they're pretty much taking care of him over here, right? Because kind of...
You saw him get up and go back down.
Alright, so he's wounded again, bad enough to be down, right?
Yeah, the direwolf actually has him by the ankle and is like, has him pulled into the dirt, essentially.
Oh, okay.
And you see this guy, he's he's a young-looking man, and now that his hat's been knocked off, you can see, for his age, it's incredibly odd. He has stark white hair. Wouldn't have thrown you off if it wasn't for the fact that this person appears to be human. You're used to seeing white hair on, like, noble elves and things like that, but this guy, actually, you've seen him somewhere before. Give me a history check.
Proud. And that's D20?
Yes, D20 plus your history.
Okay.
Which you're good at because she went to college. Or you're bad at. What'd you roll? What'd you roll? Just say it. Just say it. Say it for all the internet.
Another frigging 1.
It's like your 7th natural one this game. He looks familiar to you, but you can't place it. And it's bugging you because, like, literally, like, recent memory stuff, right? But it's the heat of combat. Who knows? So what do you choose to do?
Put it to James Dice jail, that's for sure.
Okay, now, the hand axe, is that a melee weapon? Because it says it can be thrown.
It can be thrown, yes. So it's your choice. You can melee with it or throw it.
Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and attack with the hand axe the dire wolf that's got him.
Okay. If you attack melee, it's a normal roll. If you throw it, it's at disadvantage because you're in melee.
I'm gonna attack melee.
Okay, so go ahead and make a swing.
Okay, and that's the d20 also?
Yes, it's a d20 plus whatever you have bonus to your hand axe. So if you look at your actions over here,
No.
you look at your actions over here, you can see hand axe, and you get a +1 to hit with a hand axe. So whatever you roll, +1.
5.
Okay. You take a
Biscuit.
swing at the dire wolf, and it just nimbly moves out of the way.
I don't know.
Welcome to D&D, babe. Sometimes the dice aren't with you, and it just happened to be your first game. It happens to all of us. We all have bad games. I'm sorry it's your first one.
Get another d20 over there somewhere?
I got a
I have
whole
my
box of them.
tiny
Look,
one.
Malnora, the internal gloom, is guardian of my dice. That was a gift from Letty. She was like, "Oh, this looks like the dragon you made kill all of us," and I was like, "It does. Thank you."
Alright.
Oh, you can't use that one.
Okay.
That's Vagrant's. Only Vagrant gets to roll that die.
Well, that was the only d20 in here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here. You might need the 8 billion D20s I have in here.
I have this really cute tiny one that rolls really good for everybody.
She won't like it. Her vision's too bad.
Oh, gee, thanks. Alrighty.
Hey, dude, I lost all access to my 0-level spells. I don't know why.
That's weird. Okay, so is that the end of your turn? Are you doing anything else?
I don't think there's anything else I can do. Let's see.
I don't know if you have a whole lot in the way of bonus actions. If
Actions. Bonus action, 2-weapon fighting?
If you click here, bonus action.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, actions. If you click bonus action, it'll tell you what options you have. So 2-weapon fighting means you could swing with your offhand axe because you have 2 hand axes.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, so go ahead and make another swing.
Oh, I'm gonna go through all these dice, I bet.
It's okay.
And you have a +1 to hit with hand axes. So what did you get?
11.
11 against the dire
Dire
wolf.
wolf, yes.
11 misses.
Damn it!
Okay, so you pull out your 2 hand axes, take swings at it, but unfortunately the creature's just too fast for you. That was on Kaylin's turn. Jane, you're up.
Ready? Okay. I guess I'm pulling my flaming sphere
Okay, you can move 20 feet a turn.
closer like I'm pulling a rope.
So 5, 10, 15, 20.
Right there.
All right. So you move that closer with your bonus action. You still have an action and movement. What do you want to do?
Can I continue moving it or not?
No, you can only move 20 feet a turn.
Alright. I remember I had can I use a 0-level spell?
Yeah.
I remember I had that 0-level spell, Summon Swarm, where it was tiny mites that would
The
bite.
infestation, I believe, was a level 1 spell.
It was 0 level.
I can look it up for you.
But I don't have access to it on D&D Beyond anymore. I don't know
Let's see
why.
it. There. So you have these right here.
Yeah, I don't have access to 0-level spells anymore.
There you go.
Yeah, but it doesn't show them to me.
It's right there.
Oh, it's not in the player's handbook. It's from the expanded rules somewhere. Infestation.
Letty found them. I don't know how.
Do you have it there?
He doesn't have it in
Yeah, see? It just kicked me off all
here.
my...
It says control planes, bonfire.
But those are first
cloud,
level. I need my
boss fight.
0 level.
These are 0 level. Guidance, gust, stone, mending, mold earth, poison spray, produce flame, resistance, shake, water, shillelagh, thunderclap. That's it.
I remember I used it on a goblin. That was like my only spell.
Okay, so it's a cantrip.
Yeah.
It's from Xanther's Guide to Everything. I don't know why you're not getting access to it. You
Yeah.
should. because I'm pretty sure we have a Xanthos Guide to Everything bought for D&D Beyond. I might have to double check that. Maybe we don't have it for D&D Beyond, but we definitely have the book, so you have access to it. And you've already used it in this campaign.
Yeah.
So you're casting Infestation on a target. So which target are you picking?
The one that's the flea-bitten one, because he's going to get hit by more
5,
fleas.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You'll need to get a little bit closer to be able to do it.
Oh, I'm under
You're
the
just
thing.
out of range.
Oh, can I crawl? Pretend I'm crawling underneath here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How? Am I close enough now at this point?
5, 10, 15. Yes, you can get him now. So you crawl through the dirt, and as you're crawling through the dirt, you find a tick, and you grab the tick, and this is going to be better for me than you, and you smash it.
Yep.
And the all of a sudden, a cloud of mites, fleas, and other parasites appear momentarily on the direwolf. So the direwolf needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
It's DC 13, I believe.
DC 13. He does make his save.
Wait, is it an attack or does he go to modifier? Because my spell DC is the same DC is 13, so it says
Yeah, he'd be the 13.
Okay.
The target must succeed on a Constitution saving throw, or it takes. Alright, so it's an all or nothing spell, so he saves, nothing happens. So, as you do it, all of a sudden, you can see the direwolf kind of like inflicts, like it flinches and reacts, and you can see it kind of look over at you for a second, and it just kind of shakes its haunches, and like little fleas fall off of it, and it's fine. Looks like it's got a tougher hide than you were anticipating. So that was on Jane's turn. Clay, in the dirt, fighting a direwolf and a mimic, with
The mimic can't get
a
him.
lovely, almost at this time of night and this close to death, ghostly visage of an elven woman looming above you.
I stand up.
Alright, so you use half your move to stand up. Boop.
I take my rapier and smash it. Or slice the stupid mimic.
Okay, so you attack the mimic with your rapier. Go ahead and roll the hit.
19 on the die.
As this cowboy pulls out a fencing sword. 19 on the die, you hit.
9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. I'm just making sure that they're not resistant to piercing or slashing. They are not. Okay. So, you said 19 points of damage?
Yes.
How do you want to do this?
A weird samurai move. I jump up and then have the rapier go
All
right
right.
in his mouth.
So you kick up from the sand and leap in the air. As you leap in the air, drawing your rapier at the same time, slashing it back down. As you land in front of the thing, you sunder the bands in half, and you can hear them snap as the blade goes through the bands, and they slap against the stone underneath it. The wood falls to all sides, and you stand there looking like quite the badass all of a sudden when you just got your dick knocked in the dirt a couple times. So a little bit redeemed now. Pride saved.
I quickly pick up my hat and put it on my head as a bonus.
As a bonus action, you put your hat back on like Indiana Jones. You got it. All right. So flipping your hat back on, that was Clay's turn. On the Mimic's turn. Cha-cha-pa-pa! 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 Drag. Gonna get you. On the direwolf's turn.
Oh, that's so funny.
The direwolf is still engaged with you, Clay, so it's going to keep at you. Let's see here. That's going to be a 21 to hit. Oh, and it has advantage now because it's got an ally next to it. Just got to see if I'm going to crit you. 12 points of damage.
I'm down again.
You're down again? And just as you landed, got your hat back on, and redeemed, the wolf mauls you into the dirt. And that would be their turn.
Wait, does my hat fall off?
Roll a dexterity save.
No.
The hat may be lost forever. That was on Clay's, or that was on the wolf's turn. Kaylin, you're up.
Alright, so I'm going to turn around because on the mimic who is intent on catching me, which it did, and I'm going to attack with my hand axe.
Okay, are you going to swing both hand axes?
Yes.
So go ahead and roll 2 attacks. You add 1 to each d20 roll.
9 on the first one.
9 on the first one is a miss. Swing the second.
Jeez Louise, 3 on the second one.
Okay, as you go swinging with the hand axe,
Give her one of those.
you slam the hand axes into the mimic, and unfortunately, its wooden frame is just too tough for you to get any real purchase or penetration on it. Here, use some green dice for an elf.
These dice. Oh my gosh.
Yes, we just have random bags of dice hanging from walls, people. That's what we do here.
For players like me.
All right. So that was on your turn. Did you want to use any of your movement? Did you want to use a bonus action? Anything like that?
Behind that leg. Movement away from that bugger.
Okay, so you want to get out of the situation?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Where do you want to go?
Toward the wagon.
Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, you're going to take attacks of opportunity from both the creatures you were engaged
Oh,
with.
shoot, I forgot about that. Doggone it.
The direwolf rolls a 14 to hit.
14 hits.
14 hits. Go ahead and make a strength saving throw.
Oh, strength.
We can do that on a.
It's part of his attack.
Let's see. Alright, so how do I do that?
So your saving throws are over here. So you have a +1 on strength saving throws. So you roll a d20 and add 1 to it.
She needs to christen it first.
6.
Okay, so as you attempt to run away, there's good news and bad news to this.
Ah, shite.
You go prone as it pulls you into the sand. However, it stops you from moving out of the range of the mimic, so the mimic's not going to get its attack of opportunity on you. You did take, what did I say here? It was 8 points of damage.
Ooh. Ouch.
So yeah, you're down to 6, so it's getting pretty dicey for you. All right, so that was on Kaylin's turn. We are on Jane. Jane, both your party members are down.
Are they? So I still have the spirit ball.
You do. So as a bonus action, you roll that into the direwolf. He's going to make a dexterity saving throw against what's the DC?
13.
13. He beats the 13, so he'll take half damage.
What about the other one? Does it
11.
He can only roll it into one target.
So
if the other one stays there for the end of its turn, then it takes damage. 11. As you slam the ball into the direwolf, it gets this massive charring on its side as you roll the ball over its back and haunches, and just really, you can see the whole back end of it lighting and going bald as you rip through its fur. It's starting to look pretty bad, and you start to smell the scent of cooked flesh. So that's your bonus action. With your action,
Fleas!
okay, you're going to cast fleas on him.
Yeah.
Constitution saving throw. He fails it. So the effects of infestation. Who's still got it up?
I left it.
We don't have infestation. It's on the other book.
Yeah, it's in Sandler's Guide to Everything. So
I don't know why I haven't
Google
had it
it.
before. Alright. Cause a cloud of mites, fleas, and parasites to appear momentarily on one creature you can see within the target. Must succeed a Constitution saving throw, or it takes 1d6 poison damage.
So you do a d6 of damage with it.
One.
Okay.
And it has to move randomly and
And it moves 5 foot in a random direction.
yeah. And
Which
doesn't provoke
is
attacks of opportunity.
5 foot
Can't
that
see.
way, kinda. Alright.
Right on the ball, fun ball.
Right on the happy fun ball. Alright. As you crush another tick, the blood running down your thumb, the spirits of nasty bugs that bite you, I guess, infest the direwolf, and the direwolf gets bit somewhere sensitive, probably where it just got burnt, and you hear it, "Aye!" and kind of jump backwards 5 feet as it suddenly realizes that it's covered with biting insects. Not doing a terrible amount of damage, but
Still
it
shocked.
is enough to shock the creature.
What about the mimic and the ball?
It's not their turn yet.
It's not their turn yet. If they end their turn in the ball, then they take damage. So that was on Jane's turn. Clay, make a death saving throw.
Nope.
What'd you get?
I can't see that. 8?
Yeah.
Yeah. 8.
8? Okay, so that's one failure on your death saving throws. That was on Clay's turn. The mimic is going to kill Kaylin. So the mimic's going to get advantage because you're prone. That's a 20 to hit. I'm assuming that hits you.
Yes.
We're not doing good, guys.
You guys are not doing good. You guys are doing bad.
The dice hate me.
Yeah, I think it's one of those dice evil days. Like, I almost died in my last game.
Well, you lucked out on damage. They rolled minimum damage on you, so you can take 4 points of damage. The direwolf. It's going to make an intelligence check. And
So that was the end
Where are you, Kyler?
of the mimic's turn. Doesn't it get damage from the fireball?
it's not the end of their turn yet. They're attacking right now.
Oh,
The mimic
okay.
it-
They attack as a team.
Oh, and actually, yeah, he is going to stay there. I was just rolling for him as a team, but you're right. When we resolve the direwolf, then we'll finish off the mimic with the fireball.
Okay.
That's
So
Nobody
the
bad. We're not sorcerers.
the direwolf's going to attack Clay
Move the ball back.
with advantage, and that is 13 to hit
On the nose.
on the nose. So you fail another death saving throw. As it attempts to finish you off.
Now you can do your damage.
oh.
And then now, yeah, the mimic needs to make a dexterity saving throw against the flaming sphere.
And the dire wolf.
What's the range on it?
5 foot.
Yeah, it moved 5 foot forward, so it's out of it at this
No,
point.
it was. Remember, it hit it, and then he moved. The ball doesn't move. He moved it.
Well, quit
You
fucking
moved
moving
it.
shit.
You moved it.
Quit moving shit. Alright, so, fucking, I mean, you take 90 points of damage. See how easy that is? So it failed its dexterity saving throw, so roll damage against the chest.
9.
9 points of damage against it.
What about the mimic? It's in the same.
That was for the mimic.
What about the wolf?
The direwolf succeeds, so it's going to take half damage from that. So that's 4.
Yeah. Give or take.
No, 5, right? Because we round up. Okay. So they're both cooking in your burning sphere right now.
I have one more.
And the direwolf looks like it gives 0 fucks about burning to death as long as it can rip Clay's throat out, which it's about to do on its next turn. So figure it out, guys. Kaylin, you're up.
Can I do Cure Wounds on myself at this point?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to do Cure Wounds.
You don't need the D20. You just
Okay,
need.
just the
You cast the spell. You go to your D&D Beyond, find your spells,
1d8 plus 2.
and you hit that to say that you spent another first level spell. So you have 1 first level spell left, and then you roll a D8, add 2 to it, and that's how much health you get back. Four points back to you. And you still have movement and a bonus action.
Oh, no. Wait. What?
What did you do?
There we go.
No. Oh, yeah. There you go. So, well, actually, just cancel that. What did you do? Get out of that. You don't want to be in there.
I don't know why it popped up.
And you get heal. Heal. There you go.
Alright. If I try to get out of there, they're both going to do an attack of opportunity.
Probably, yes. You use half your move to stand up, so you're not prone anymore. You could,
Yeah, I'll stand up.
Alright, so you stand back up. That way they at least don't have advantage against you anymore. And then you still have bonus action available. I don't know if you have any.
Run towards the cart.
Well, if I do, they both...
She's going to take 2 attacks of opportunity.
Yeah.
You can finish off the mimic. It's in the flaming sphere area. Or the wolf.
Alright, I have an action or bonus action?
You have a bonus action right now because you use your action to heal yourself. Yeah. Do you have any bonus action stuff you can do? I don't know if rangers do.
Well, let's see. Okay, bonus actions, right.
Yeah, I don't have anything you can do right now unless you have a bonus action spell.
First level. Those are just spells. It doesn't say if it's bonus action or not.
No, it doesn't. No, you don't have anything you can do for
Alright,
bonus
so
action.
that's it then.
So you're done, yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, so you get back up, you heal yourself up a little bit. That was on Kaylin's turn. Jane, you're up.
Moving the ball. Wait, the ball's already in there, right?
Yeah, but you could slam it into a target if you wanted to.
Slamming it into the direwolf.
Slamming it into the direwolf. The direwolf makes a dexterity saving
13.
throw and fails it. Go ahead and roll damage.
Again, 9.
9 points of damage. As you slam the sphere of fire into the direwolf, all its fur literally bursts into flames. You can see its flesh burn, and then the creature, as it's burning, rather than the flesh burning and the creature falling to the ground, you can see it burn and the creature ceases to exist. As the flames just run up it, almost like its body is made out of a fuse. And as it burns away, all of a sudden it just burns into nothingness, and you can see a small black rock hovering in the air, and then it hits in the dirt.
Infestation on the mimic.
Infestation on the mimic. The mimic makes a Constitution saving throw, which it fails. Go ahead and roll a d6 of poison damage.
4! And it has to move at random.
You know, I only had 1 success left.
What?
And I'm dead.
What
If
do
I
you mean?
rolled 10 or below, I'm dead.
Okay. What's that going
Then don't do that. So you roll how much damage?
I got 4. Now I has to move in a 1 5-foot random direction. I don't know. What do mimics take as biting, piercing, and parasitic damage?
So 4 points of damage against the mimic, which is here.
And now he has to roll wherever random
And
direction he goes.
he moves in a random direction 5 feet, which is going to be 5 foot that way. As for some reason, although these creatures look like they are made of wood and metal, they are some sort of thing that feels pain even from biting insects. And the chest looks startled by something, and as it jumps clunk, 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 and slams its lid shut, you can see these weird, like, tiny, tiny black mites come spilling out of its mouth as it's sitting there trying to get away from this horrible, disgusting cantrip.
He's poisoned, so what does poison do?
It doesn't actually poison him, it's just poison damage. It's not giving him the poison condition. However, FYI, the poison condition essentially makes you at disadvantage for everything.
Okay.
Do I get an attack since he's moving away?
He hasn't moved out of your attack, sorry. He has to actually move out of your range for you to get the attack of opportunity. Had his random direction have been pointing these ways, you would have been able to, but unfortunately it still put him in your range.
Alright.
But good call on that. Good call on looking out for that. So that was on Jane's turn. Clay, hold on, guys. This is a death saving throw that could kill Letty's character right now. If she rolls under a 10, Clay's permanently dead. He's already failed twice on saves. What'd you
Yes!
get? What'd you get? What'd you get, Clay? 10? On the nose?
Yeah.
Barely saving for another round. Clay holds on to life. On the Mimic's turn.
I'm under the wagon, not in front of it.
Yeah, you also rolled a 4 on stealth.
No, you're right.
And the Mimic is going to attempt to kill this evil, evil spellcaster that makes ticks come out of its mouth. I swear to God, you were playing an evil character and don't know it. Alright, so that is 23 to hit.
Yeah.
It's pissed. Super pissed. This is the most pissed Mimic you've ever seen. And that's a D8 plus 3. What, is my first time hitting with a Mimic? Where's my D8s at? Thank
Can I
you.
get that back?
You sure can. Minimum damage. I hate your dice. 4 points of damage.
Okay. It
As
tells
it
me
hits
with its
you?
tongue, right?
Well, it's flicking out its tongue and slamming you in the face with it for bludgeoning damage. And let's see, it is still technically in its object form. So why don't you go ahead and make me a ability check here.
And does he still have the hunter's mark?
Wait, what's an ability check? Like, what do you-
I'm sorry. It's you get to make an athletics or acrobatics check, your choice, as it attempts to grapple you with its sticky tongue.
Ooh, I'm better at acrobatics. I got 11.
11. Okay. You are currently held in place as it wraps this blackish purplish tongue around you, and and everywhere it touches you, it just sticks to your body like glue.
Gotcha.
And it's holding you in place. That was on the Mimic's turn. Kaylin.
Alright, so is it in melee range or
No, it's not. You could shoot at it right now. You could move in melee range. You could move away from it.
I'm gonna try to attack
All right. So with your bow.
with my bow.
All right. You turn, pull out an arrow. Go ahead and roll the hit.
I'm in the way too, so.
You're actually much better with bows though. What's your plus to bow?
Should be like a +6 or something.
Is longbow. Oh wait, no. Actions. Right? Actions, yes. Okay, longbow +7, so it's 12.
On the nose.
Damn!
On the nose.
Finally!
Now check this out. This is where you finally get to come into your own. How much damage do you do with the bow?
Damage is 1d8 +3.
So a D8 plus 3. So get a D8 plus it's hunter marked. So you get a D6
This one.
plus you have a feature as a ranger called Colossus Slayer. So check
That's
this out.
right. Minimum health.
So features and traits.
Under maximum health.
You go to Colossus Slayer.
It should be at the bottom.
So once per turn, if a creature you're hitting with a weapon attack has already taken damage, it's below its maximum health points, you add another D8.
I have enough heals.
So you get 2d8 and a d6 plus
2d8.
Like, I have not burned spells other than the cantrip.
3. So whatever you roll on that, add
Not-
3 to it, and
I
that's
haven't touched
damaging you.
Finally.
That was
This is
my
where you
last
finally
one.
get to do something cool.
Yeah, unless the dice gods are
Yes,
against
you
me.
can.
This is a second level spell?
A healing word is not a second level.
9.
Yes, it is.
Okay,
It is.
9
Right
total?
here it
Oh,
is.
wait, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12.
12
Level
points of
1
damage.
spell.
Alright. 12 points of damage.
Oh, you mean like healing word, the first level spell? Oh, well, in that case.
All right.
I forgot about that part.
As you slam an arrow into this creature, you can see one of the back hinges where the lid opens and closes. You shoot that hinge off, and now the lid's flopping with only one hinge attached.
Holy moly.
That was on your action. You still have movement and a bonus action available to you. We already found out you can't really do much with your bonus action, so you have movement available right now.
Alright.
Did she add her hunter mark?
Yeah.
Okay.
And her Colossus Slayer.
Wait, that's a Colossus?
Yes.
Yes.
Colossus Slayer is just a ranger ability, dude. If it has a ton of hit points and it's not at maximum hit points, they just get an extra D8. Just because, fuck it, we're rangers, deal with it. Rangers actually are like one of the highest DPS classes at low levels. They balance out as it goes on, but they have an early start.
I'll just move away a little bit to over here.
Okay, so you're gonna 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 there?
Yeah.
Okay, so you move closer. As you get closer to this turtle guy, you can see he's still digging through this stuff. You can see his tortoise is pretty injured, actually. It's like its leg looks pretty messed up. And as he's digging through all that stuff, go ahead and give me a perception check with advantage.
That's this one.
Alright, perception is 4, and that's a d20?
Yeah, so you roll the d20 twice and take the higher of the two.
Damn! I'll take the 20.
Okay.
Plus 4.
First
24.
natural 20.
Yay!
Yay! So 24 altogether.
So 24. I was going to give you a clue, but with a natural 20,
Woo!
there's something in this guy's wares that is of immediate interest to you. And you catch it out of the corner of your eye, and something in you just triggers that instinctive ranger primal rage you have towards your favorite enemy. And as you look over, he's got a box that's strapped to the tortoise amongst a ton of crap. It would have been impossible to pick out amongst everything unless you knew you were looking for it, or it was just this serendipitous moment, right? But he has a box there that is engraved with runes. It's just a small wooden box, and it's covered with red wax. That red wax is also covered in runes, and you can see the seal on the wax has been broken. You've heard of these things before because of your hunting of demons and fiends being your natural enemy for hundreds of years. And this box is actually known as a Dybbuk box. It's used to contain a demon that is adept at getting away, usually like a possession style of demon, one that can jump from body to body. They use these boxes to contain them. You can see the seal's been broken on this box, so if it ever contained a demon before, it's been broken and released at this point. Or it is somebody that, you know, has created a dummy box that's just meant to like sell to tourists and stuff like that. You're not sure without getting a close look at it, but immediately you just, that's a fucking Dybbuk box, right? Just something you catch because you rolled a natural 20. All right, so that was on Kaylin's turn. Jane, you're up.
Am I allowed to use healing word on Clay there
Yeah.
while I'm wrapped, or is it just on him?
Yeah, all grappled means is that you're restrained, which means any attacks, not restrained, I'm sorry, you're at disadvantage for any attacks you want to do, but you can still do any action as normal. and you just can't move.
I want to use my first level spell, Healing Word, 60 feet.
Okay.
1d4 to Clay over there.
All right.
I forgot that was a first level spell. Sorry. 4 points of hell.
4 points of damage. And Clay's dead. Okay, so wrapped up in this purple ton, you realize, Clay's been down a little bit too long. You toss out a Healing Word spell, and you can feel the energy of your ancestors infuse Clay's body, and you know you've spared him from the brink of death.
Okay. What's it take to wild shape?
To wild shape, I believe it's at level 3, you're a Druid of the Moon, right?
Yeah.
I think it becomes a bonus action for you because you're Druid of the Moon. Let me double check it for you.
He uses bonus, so it has to be an action.
Well, technically, the bonus action spell, I believe you can sacrifice your action for the rules of casting. They get weird on the rules of casting. But let me see here. If you're, where are druids at? Bards. Druid of the Moon.
I need to get more shots on that blade.
So, combat wild shape. When you choose this circle at second level, you gain the ability to use wild shape on your turn as a bonus action rather than as an action. Additionally, while you are transformed by wild shape, you can use a bonus action to expend 1 spell slot to gain 1d8 hit points per level of the spell slot expended. Damn. You can do it as either an action or a bonus action since you're a Druid of the Moon.
Turning into this.
All right, so Poof, you turn into a...
Wait, what was I? Still under the cart, right?
You turn into a bear?
I was still under the cart, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the other carts.
Alright, so you turn into a bear from underneath the cart. Okay, what kind of bear?
A grizzly bear.
A grizzly bear? Alright, so from underneath the cart, you hear this creature that's snapping and cracking and pounding, and then you hear other snaps, cracks, and pops, and it sounds like bones being destroyed.
Sinew.
And consumed. And you realize whoever this person was that's been casting from underneath the cart has been completely devoured by this mimic for a second. And then the cart gets flipped over as a giant grizzly bear emerges, and you can see as it's emerging, the arms and the form of it, the bones, the skeletal structure is not quite right, and you can see where the sound was coming from as these bones and joints start popping and twisting and contorting until it forms into a full-formed bear. It is literally the most disgusting, disturbing horror movie of a transformation sequence you have ever seen, as this bear looms over on its hind legs and reaches up with both claws. And that is your turn, I believe.
Yeah. Clay.
Clay.
Stand up.
You stand up after hearing the sound of the giant crash of your cart from behind you.
Wings, black wings, just spread out.
What's the
Super
anybody know the
pissed
animals?
off mode. It's black wings.
And he flies up about half his 30, and just kind of like hovers there.
Okay. So you guys see as this cowboy opens his eyes again, slams his hand into the dirt where his revolver is, and as he drags the revolver up and stands up with his back towards Kalen, you can see these black feathered wings reach out from behind his back and then shoot down, one feather falling into the dirt as he lifts off instinctively 30 feet into the air. That is your movement. What kind of action is it to sprout wings?
It's action.
It's his action? Okay. And then you still have a bonus action available. Oh, and you're actually 15 feet in the air. It was half a minute to get up.
Yeah, and it's 60 feet flying.
Oh, it's 60-foot fly? Oh, okay, yeah, 30 feet in the air.
Do I have any spells? No. I don't have anything. I can't attack with my bonus, can I?
Not unless you have a bonus action attack. Bonus
I have-
action spell or something
Well,
like
I
that.
have 2-weapon fighting.
No, 2-weapon fighting, it's just if you attack with your action,
Okay.
then you can attack as a bonus action, but you can't split them.
Okay. I'm good then.
All right, so you get your Sailor Moon transformation sequence.
No, man.
Jane, you've been palling around with Clay for about a month now, and you ain't never seen him pull that trick. But then again, I don't think she's ever seen you turn into a grizzly bear. So you guys got surprises for each other today. Sorry. It's been a while. I'm still getting used to it. I didn't mean to assume your character's gender. All right, so we've got
Mimic's turn.
the Mimic's turn. The Mimic fucking gives up. There's a bear and there's an angel, and all of a sudden the Rangers stopped rolling ones. The Mimic is going to attempt to attack the bear.
I don't know if you want to use those rules or the rules up here. So, the rules in there or the rules here. I'm AC 14, so nothing really changed.
Okay, so whenever you take a beast shape, you are physically whatever that beast is.
Then the AC's 14 natural.
Okay, so yeah, it misses you. It rolled a 9. So it tries to hit you with the pseudopod ton again and doesn't do any good. You are still technically grappled with the thing because you haven't broken the grapple yet. So
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
you have to actually use your action to break the grapple. It's still got its tongue stuck to you. Oh, so it gets advantage if you're grappled, so it does get to roll again. Okay. So that actually will hit you, and it's a bite attack now since you are grappled, so this actually gets more deadly. You take a d8 of... What did I do with all my dice? I gave you the box of dice.
Yes, you did.
Can I have your box of dice back? All right. So it's going to do a d8 of bludgeoning damage and a d8 of acid damage. For 13 points total.
Okay.
All
Do
right.
I use the new hit points from the
Yes,
animal?
yeah. Whatever the hit points of your wild-shaped creature is your new hit point total. Yeah, druids just, especially Circle of the Moon druids, just become piles of hit points with wild shape. Like, you're virtually impossible to kill.
Okay.
All right, so it bites into you. You take your acid damage. That was on the Mimic's turn.
Kaylin.
And the wolf's rock. And Kaylin, you're up.
All right, so seeing this, they've got everything well in hand. And noticing that box, is there any way to know how injured his friend is?
Give me an animal handling check.
Animal
Or is it medicine? Both? I don't know.
I had to decide between the two in my mind.
Oh, okay.
I think either would work, technically.
22.
22?
Yes.
It's superficial bleeding. It's got puncture wounds from the bite, but it doesn't look like any bones are broken. It doesn't look like it's going to have trouble walking or getting out of here. It looks like it's injured and it'll probably move slower, but this is nothing life-threatening for it.
Okay, so to get in the good graces, because I've seen that box, can I cast Cure Wounds on the animal?
Yes, you can. So
Okay.
you use your last first level spell to cast Cure Wounds on the animal. So
Yes.
you move over You lay your hand on the tortoise. Go ahead and roll a d8 plus whatever you get for healing.
That's not it. That's it. Alright, so I have medicine but not healing.
Oh, I'm
Your
sorry. It's the
spells?
spell. It's the spell itself.
Okay.
So if you look at your spells,
Sorry.
no problem. It'll tell you here. You just
Alright.
click Cure Wounds, and it'll give you a better description. So it's d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier. Rangers use Wisdom for that, so it's a d8 plus 2 because you get a plus 2 on your Wisdom stuff. Right?
Okay. So it's 8.
So you did 8 points of healing to the tortoise. Okay.
Yes.
So you lay your hands on the tortoise, and you can see as its wounds begin to mend and stop bleeding, and you heal the vast majority of the damage away from the creature. And you can see the turtle next to it as it's digging for stuff. Oh, God bless you, child. It's good you come. Thank you for your help. Can you help me find my things? I need to. Oh, your friends are. Oh, they're gonna. Does that man have wings? Oh, it's gotta be here somewhere.
So I help him, and I am so sorry about the arrow earlier. I did not know who.
Oh, it's, you know. I don't really have the time to hold grudges.
Alright.
You don't, yeah, do you see it? It's blue. It's... and back up to Jane.
Breaking the grapple, I guess.
All right. Athletics or it's straight athletics to break the grapple. No, I'm sorry. It's athletics or acrobatics.
I thought it was strength because I'm a bear now.
It's athletics or acrobatics. So if you have just strength, then it's the same thing. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're going to get strength regardless if you roll athletics. But if you have the acrobatic skill, you get to add your proficiency to it.
I got a 24.
There you go. 24. No problem. You break the grapple.
Mauling it back.
Well, you use your action to break the grapple. So, at this point, you've got movement and bonus action.
What can I do with the bonus action?
As a bear, nothing.
Can I slam my little fire thing on it?
It's still in it?
I don't see why not. 5, 10, 15, 20. Can you reach it?
That's it. That's right there.
All right.
And now...
Dexterity saving throw. It's safe, so it'll take half damage.
Hey. He takes 4.
4 points of damage. Okay, half for 2. Using the crap pin again. Alright. As you slam the ball of fire into the back of it, it begins burning. That was on Jane's turn. Clay.
I'm shooting at it.
You can do that.
Hits.
Eight.
8 points of damage. So, as Clay, flying 30 feet in the air, just these giant black wings, whoof, whoof, pulls out a pistol, and with great vengeance and furious anger, fires upon the mimic below. And boom! And there's this kick up of sand and dust. These wood splinters that fly out. Creatures still in combat with Jane and a fireball. But you do have a moment of badassery. And then a sudden moment of recollection and realization of yourself now that you're not in this immediate near-death state. And it dawns on you. And you look down. never done this before.
Get up here.
And you realize that you are instinctively flying, and you have wings now, and a lot of questions.
I'm going to, because I still have my bonus action,
You
to
do?
swoop down and take out my rapier for that last attack. Right? For the bonus.
Two-weapon fighting doesn't work that way. It would have to be an offhand attack. So, like, if you had 2 pistols, you would do it that way.
Oh, and then I get my other pistol.
Okay, you pull another pistol out and fire. You can definitely do that.
17?
Hits.
18? I just roll this, not add modifier, right? I roll just this, no plus anything.
With two-weapon fighting, let me double check the rules on two-weapon fighting because that might actually let you get it. Two-weapon fighting is a thing that you can do. It should be in D&D Beyond too. If you tap your features and traits
Yeah,
on
I'm looking
two-weapon
at it.
fighting.
You don't add your ability modifier to the damage of the bonus attack unless the modifier is negative.
So it just allows you to attack. All right, yeah. So yeah, it's just the damage, no ability modifier to it.
So that's 2.
2 points of damage added onto it. As you pull out a second pistol and fire from your offhand, shooting into the chest again. All right, that was Clay's
I'm
turn.
gonna fire a little bit more.
The Mimic is going to chomp down on Jane and hit Jane for
Be for that
5, 6, 7, 8 points of bludgeoning damage, and you need to make a strength saving throw to avoid the adhesive grip again, or rather an athletics check. I mean,
Either way,
Yeah.
19 plus whatever with the strength.
yeah, no problem, no problem. And so as it slams into you, you'll take the damage, but you are not grappled. That was on the Mimic's turn. Kaylin, you're up.
Alright, I'm gonna turn around and shoot at the mimic.
Okay, and while you're doing that, I'm going to make a dexterity saving throw because it's still in the fire. Roll your fire damage from the flaming sphere.
Oh, wait a minute.
I got 7.
7, okay. And roll the hit.
19.
Nice, that is definitely a hit. As you fire an arrow at it, go ahead and roll damage. So that's going to be a D8 plus your D6 from Hunter's Mark, plus another D8 for Colossus Slayer.
You want this one?
These help me out some, so. Right?
Another D8.
Yeah, 2d8.
Put the blue one away. That's a D6.
Oh.
You want another one that looks like a diamond.
I like this
oh,
one.
okay.
So that's 2d8 plus a d6 plus 3 to whatever you roll.
Okay. 18.
18? How do you want to do this?
Woo! Moly.
Oh.
It's kind of weird to figure out how to damage Mimic, huh? Imagine how I felt the whole game.
Yeah. Okay, so the arrow goes through the ball of fire into the mimic, and the mimic just pieces
Awesome.
everywhere.
So as you draw back on your bow, you fire, and as the arrow goes through, it goes through the center of the ball of flame. The ball of flame ignites the arrow itself, and using the force of the ball of flame's magic, turns it into like this centrifuge, almost like a tornado of fire, slamming into the back of the chest. And it just explodes into sparks and fireworks everywhere. And there's little tiny pieces of rubble all along the red sand of the waste, littering the area, kind of softly illuminating things as the chaos of the battle comes to a close and the quiet of the landscape captures everybody.
Woohoo! I kind of like swoop down.
There it is. Oh, well, don't look at what you've done to him. And the turtle starts walking over to the corpses of the mimics. And, oh. Stop fight. Stop fight. Go back to cart. And this little blue Jim just kind of dinks in the sand as he tosses it over his shoulder. And he goes walking back over to his tortoise. Oh, thanks. Thank you for your help, miss. I appreciate that. And he sits down and kind of leans against the big meaty leg of his tortoise and kind of leans his staff over his lap. I'm just gonna take a little rest. It's a good thing you came when you did.
I pick up that said rock and just like freaking roll it. Piss.
Which rock? The
rock
one he
that
just
he
tossed
threw.
over his shoulder? You pick it up and it's a blue smooth stone. And you just fling it out into the waves.
I hope I hit up Scorpion. Did I roll at disadvantage?
How long do your wings last?
It says a minute.
Okay, so as you land and you pick up the rock and toss it off into the waste, you can feel your wings recede back into wherever they came from. You're not exactly sure how this works. And you guys can hear off in the distance as the sound of combat's come to a close, you can hear the sound of a wagon approaching.
Yep. And help me flip this out. Help me flip out. Oh. Help me flip this car out. Like that. Oh. Ow.
I'm sniffing around. Like all the debris and the dust.
I'm medic.
I will change back to a human form, I guess.
Okay.
And go ahead and make the nasty, horrible, sinuitic sounds
Nah, we're
that
good.
only apply to Jane the Skinwalker.
As the bear all of a sudden starts popping and the shoulders collapse in on themselves, the claws are tracked back into the hands in a way that only fingers bending backwards till they break could make a sound of. And slowly but surely, and back down into the form of a tribal-looking human girl, young girl. She's got war paint on her face, and actually is quite lovely for somebody that just did something so disgusting.
She gets 8 points of health back.
Uh,
I'm casting Cure Wounds now that I can touch her and get close to her.
Okay, casting Cure Wounds on Clay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you walk over and you see this this native woman walk over to the cowboy and put a hand on his shoulder, and his wounds begin to knit close. As you can see, very similar to your own magic, Kaylin. It looks like nature magic, nature-based, probably with her shape changing and stuff, druid-based magic, but not completely unfamiliar to the magic that you use yourself.
Thank you, June.
The spirits flipped the coin and told me that you were a positive.
What?
You know, my back hurt too. I've got something for it right over here. It's just, oh yeah. And he starts digging through some stuff, and you see him pull out a bottle of snake oil. Yeah, this'll clean whatever you got going on. You complained about that back. That's just gonna be tingled. You go ahead and you got that right there.
Okay, I do that.
You walk over and give the turtle tingled. He hands you a bottle of snake oil.
Wait, I thought he said lay down in front of me and like a massage. That's what I thought what he was saying. Sorry, no. I thought it was, he said.
I'll
massage.
purchase his.
No, he ain't moving nowhere. He's sitting right by his turtle. He's had a rough night.
What looking at the snake oil and paying the 10 gold.
Okay, you pay 10 gold for it. He hands it to you.
My back.
You,
There was some weird thing going on with my back. What was it? What did you guys see? Ow.
you got a real quiet party on your hands, apparently.
What?
Back. What happened? What did you guys see? Felt something weird coming out of my back. And I was in the air. What was that? Oh.
You were a spirit for a moment.
What?
You were a spirit. You were flying across like a great spirit in the sky. Almost like a good eagle.
I don't trust what Jane said. What did you guys see?
Never ever trust what Jane saw. As the sound of a cart gets louder, you guys can see now that it's getting closer, and there's still the burning wreckage on the ground and the moonlight available to give you some light. As it gets really close, you can see what is a double check my notes. It's been a while. Valsaden Moving Company. One of their caravans. Looks like they're bringing supplies in from out west. And looks like they were headed towards New Fork as well. And as it comes pulling forward, you can hear a voice call out from the cart. Miss Kalen, is everything secure, ma'am?
Everything's fine now.
And you see the cart pull up, and there's an elven gentleman driving it. He's got kind of just like a real simple, not incredibly wealthy, but just, looks like somebody that works for the moving company. He's got a vest that's buttoned up the front. He's got a lawn white shirt underneath that's buttoned tight at the neck. He's got almost like a dirty blonde hair that hangs down to his shoulders, and just looks like, I guess for this area, he looks wealthier than most, but that's because he works for the Valsaden Moving Company, which tends to just have a shit ton of money. But definitely, as far as they would consider themselves, he's common folk, right? And it looks like he's alone on the cart right now. It just looks like it's him and the supplies.
Hi.
He's a great spirit.
I do speak like celestial and stuff. Do I pick up on
What the fuck's going on with Clay?
Yeah.
Give me a history check.
History.
We'll give you advantage for your favorite enemies. It's close enough.
All right. 7.
With advantage?
Mm-hmm. A 1 and a 3.
7. There is... There's magic in the world that can give you wings. It's the best you know.
Dang it!
Guys, my cot. There's 2 in there sleeping, apparently. They might be trapped. Can you help flip it?
I go over there and try to assist with the flipping. Oh, and what's my... No, never mind. He's got to stay with the wares. So I go over there and try to help.
Okay. You go over there and try to lift the cart. Is anybody else helping Kaylin lift the cart?
Yes, all of
Okay.
us.
So, athletics check. Let's see. Who's going to helm it? Somebody's getting advantage for the assistance. It's one person rolling the die. So who wants to roll the die for the athletics check?
I'm pretty sure. I already have. I have no strength.
Oh, look at me. I'm a 9.
You could be a bear.
Again?
Yes.
I would cut into my shapeshifting for...
That's fine. We're gonna go take a rest anyway. We're not gonna fight. fight.
How do you know?
Because I'm tired. I'm not fighting. I'm running. Turn into a bear.
I can run with the grace of a gazelle. Wait.
Yeah.
I can turn into a horse. Would that happen?
Fine, that'll pull it.
All right. I'm a
Well,
horse.
sis.
Who's witnessing
Okay.
this?
So Jane turns into a pile of flesh and bones, and then up comes a horse out of it.
I tie the rope.
Okay, you tie the rope. Jane does not have opposable thumbs to lift this cart.
No, he's gonna pull it.
I pull.
Like on the other side, like right
Oh,
here.
okay. So you attach it to the top and
Yeah.
pull that way. Right,
Like I
gotcha.
can kind of like try to like.
Go ahead and make an
there.
athletics check with advantage there, Jane. Your horse
Ooh,
athletics.
19.
I got a 1 and a 19 plus what's the strength of a horse?
I don't know, like
Good enough,
3 or
yeah.
4.
So you flip the cart back onto its wheels, and
Out pops Vane and dead.
Vane's fine. Vane's fine. He misty stepped out of there and kept sleeping to get all his spells back the next day.
That makes
And the bard, Donna, and Donna's child are all just kind of hiding behind a rock somewhere. They come out when they realize the combat's over.
Catalina is gone.
Yeah. Catalina's making a note and sending it off to the cops. So the teamster for the Valsaden Moving Company. Well, it looks like we've had quite the harrowing ordeal. Should we circle carts together and make a fire?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
As you guys get the carts to kind of block off natural terrain type of thing, you park a cart there and he parks his cart over here type of thing, and use the natural terrain to get as much cover as possible. And he starts up a campfire in the middle and starts going to work cooking for you guys. And that's where we're going to take our break.
Woo! Break time. Glade lived another day.
Barely.
I know, right?
You guys were having a rough... That was supposed to be an easy, fast encounter, too.
What is with these dice
Fucking
rolls?
natural ones were killing you guys.
I almost. Oh.
Why do I always misplace lighter?
Alright, going on break, guys. I don't know who's watching. Probably nobody anymore.
Probably nobody, because it was all combat and no RP.
Oh, she's still watching.
That's what I gotta practice. RP.
Well, this is going to be your chance to do it. Because you guys have getting to know each other after the break.
Yep.
Do you have a lighter in your pocket?
Mm-hmm.
Which one?
Calm down. It's not going to run away.
You're in the jar, just careful.